Sag, say.
Animations.
Hello and welcome to Blender Modeling with SAG, episode 11. So we're really coming along. We've almost got our cabinet done and everything. So today we're going to go ahead and finish up our draft beer system here. We're going to get all the hoses finished up. So all we really have left now is to do the hoses that go from the kegs up to the spouts. So we're going to go ahead here. We're already in object mode, so we'll go ahead and add a Bezier. Now we're just going to go ahead and select this. And for now, we're just going to hide the cabinet. It's a bit cumbersome. Go over here. And we're going to want to rotate that. Let's see, I'm going to say on that x-axis, 90 degrees. Nope, y-axis. There we go. So now, we want to situate this here. Get this about there, a little bit. So now we're going to tab into edit mode here. And we're going to go grab the top here. We just want to bring that down. Go ahead back into our X view, bring the cabinet back in, see how tall we need to be here. Oh yeah, we need to be here. Bring this over here, up here. And as you can see here, we have this little bit here, which we don't necessarily want. Yeah, let's go ahead and remove this cabinet for a moment and take a look here. Down like that. Actually, let's start over. Just delete that. Bring in a new curve. Curve Bezier. Add curve. There we go. Let's scale that down. We want to make sure that this is small enough so we can work with. And once again, gotta remember the y-axis. We're going to go 90 degrees, like so. Go back to our X view here. Put this down, like so. I want that to be as centered as possible. Okay. Now let's take a gander here. Bring our cabinet back. Still a bit too. We're gonna scale that down. There. Okay, now So we want to stay inside the cabinet. So we're just going to go ahead and say about there. Perfect. Now we can start working with our thing here. And now I'm just going to go over here and rename this to beer hose. There. So now I'm going to go ahead and just duplicate across the board. Well, yeah. Actually, I'm only going to duplicate this once. Why? Try to make this as simple as possible. Okay. Now then, let's bring back our cabinet. Now we're going to select our beer hose here. Tab into edit mode. We're going to find our top piece here. We're going to move this like so. E to extrude. Y like so. Up. Now, as you can see here, we have a bit of an ugly spot. So we're going to go back into object mode, select our cabinet here, tab, and we've got a bit of cleaning up to do. So select our two faces here, delete faces, go here. Now we have a bit of a strange situation in here. We want to have just this little guy here, so as we can see here, we have some strangeness. So I think probably our best bet here would be to hide all the kegs. Okay, that gives us a little more room to work here. We can take a gander. Select this face. Oh, Control Z. Go over here. Select this face. Delete. As we can see, this is a bit ugly. Need to figure out what's going on here. We have a bunch of odd geometry here. Nope, I don't want to delete that. These. Okay. So we're not in perfect alignment, which is a bit problematic. So let's go ahead and select this here. This over there. And now we're going to go ahead and select our face here and see how this is looking, which is pretty terrible. Okay. So what we want to do here is a bit of repair. So we're going to go ahead and select our line here. We're going to move this over a bit. About there, we'll say. Okay, so now let's go ahead and grab our thing here. 1, 2, I can see we're going to have a bit of trouble here. So we're going to make one big n-gon here, F. We're going to inset the face, S to scale. Okay. So I can see now that we're going to have a bit of a situation here. So I'm going to go ahead and select our here. Subdivide just once. So now we can go ahead here and go 1, 2, 3, 4, F. 2, 3, 4, F, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, F. Okay. Now we're going to have to try to figure this one out. So we're going to go here, Loop Tools, Circle, hit the S for scale, and we're going to want to go into the X-ray mode here. Seven. So we have a pentagon here. So an X-ray off. Okay, so this isn't going to be visible, so we're not really going to worry too much about this here. though the gap is a bit problematic. So we're going to see what happens here. We're going to go ahead and Alt, select that, Shift, Alt, select that, and we're going to bridge edge loops. Aha, that's why it's so nasty. Okay, I guess we're going to have to do this the old-fashioned way, so. As close as we can that way. This over about here. We need to subdivide this one. Go back here. This over to there. To there. We want to move this down to about here. I want to go ahead and move this one to about there. We want to go ahead and subdivide here. Over there. Okay. So we just have, it looks like one more. We need to subdivide this one here, roughly. Okay, turn off the X-ray. Okay, so now Alt, select, oh. Yeah, let's just do it the old-fashioned way. F, 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 F. There's an F. F. And F. Okay, that looks good. Well, as good as can be, I suppose. Get ourselves out of here so we can figure out where we are. Okay. Now we'll have just a few more of those to deal with, but for now, tab, we're going to E to extrude, Z. Now, unfortunately, it looks like we're okay, so go ahead and move this up a little bit more. So, well, move it down a little bit. Now we'll E to extrude on the Z-axis. Keep moving that up to about there, I'd say. Go back into object mode here. Duplicate our object. Y. Bring that over. Select the other one, delete that one. Now we're going to mirror over the Y. And then we're going to go tab. We're going to just move this slightly out of the way. Okay. Tab. I'm going to select that one and that one. We're going to duplicate. Objects. Y. Duplicate one more time on the Y. So, and we'll have to adjust each one a little bit, but we'll get there when we get there. Now then, now comes the tricky part. We need to actually feed these cords up through to our spouts. Select this one, tab, and I'm going to E to extrude, Y on that axis, here, here. Now you wouldn't have to necessarily do all of this. This is more for fun because you're never going to see any of this. But if you enjoy modeling as much as I do, it's a bit of a challenge. Okay. That takes care of that. For now, let's go ahead and EX. Bring that right in there. And this is where the X-ray kind of comes in handy. Turn our good old-fashioned X-ray on here. Go ahead and get this situated here. Seam we've okay, there we go. Perfect. So now I'm going to go to other beer hose here. Huh. Alright, because the original beer hose, this one. So now we're just going to move this one just about there. We're going to E, X, no, Y. Pull this right down through here. Go ahead here and situate our okay. Now E on X. Oh, I think we did the wrong one here. Oh no, it's the right one. E, X. So we have a bit of a mess up here. Not too bad though. Re-situate this one here. Slack a little bit. Okay. So that's 2 of them done. Now we can go over here. Object mode, select our beer hose here. And then this one here will be a little bit easier because one's going left and one's going right. So we'll go ahead and tab, E, Y, bring this one here, up, just want to go ahead and rotate that, up, left. E, X, okay, here, okay. Now we can go over here, select our next one here. Let's go into here. Okay, tab. We're going to pull this one, rotate this one. Now we're going to go ahead and E to extrude on the Y-axis. Up there. See where we are. Up a little bit more. Now we're just going to want to rotate that, get that pointed in the right direction. E on the X. But okay, that's another one down. So that really just leaves these last two. So I'm going to go File, Save. Oh, let's see here. We're going to go ahead here. And we'll just go ahead and select this one here. Let's go back into object mode. Select this here. Tab. Pull that up a little bit more. We want to just go ahead and fix that a little bit. Bring this up. And this is why I really like the Bezier curves. If you were trying to do this with cylinders, it would take way longer and you would drive yourself crazy trying to figure this stuff out. This here, it really doesn't get much easier. Let's see, this one. Go ahead and bring this so that, and we're a bit too far, so we're going to go back this way, up this way. Change the orientation just a little bit. E to extrude on the X. Pull this baby right down like so. Pull it back a little bit. Perfect. There's that one. Tab. Select this guy. Tab. Now this one we're going to go ahead and move a little bit back this way. Once again, we're going to get our orientation right here. Select this. E, Y, pull that right down. I want to go all the way. Pull that up here a bit. Back a little bit. Now, I want to make sure we're still in bounds here. E, Y, no, X. There. Take a look see, how's it look? It's, yeah. Down. Move that. Perfect. So, at this point, I think we're going to take a little ad break, and then when we come back, we'll start bringing in the geometry and get this all situated. And we're almost done. Once we get this top part figured out, we can go ahead and run things through our quad remesher. It'll make things all nice and tidy, and then we can start working on the doors. So we'll see you in a few.
This episode is brought to you by the World War III Chronicles, my fictional World War III series set in the year 2020 to 2022. The first book in my series is Operation Iranian Occupation. This is set in 2020. It's alternate history, so instead of COVID, we get World War III. In this book, President Trump orders the assassination of an Iranian general named Soleimani. In our world, nothing really happened. There was a little bit of commotion. In my world, the Iranians full-on annihilate a military base in Iraq, and in response, we go ahead and we fully invade. Our forces push right into Iran. Russia counters briefly, and there's kind of a tense conflict between the two. President Trump and Vladimir Putin get together, and there's a deal made. Russia will pull out of Iran and allow us to take Iran if we allow them to take Ukraine. That kind of kicks off a whole thing. So in book number 1 here, U.S. forces go right into Iran. It kind of starts off the series. I've got a fictional Illuminati in here that I've been working on for the past 10 years. I've taken a bunch of conspiracy theories and cherry-picked a few things and stuff, and you get a little peek here. And then book number 2, we get to see the Soviet Federation. Essentially, my fictional Illuminati makes its first big move. They wipe out the Russian government in a bunch of assassinations. Vladimir Putin is assassinated, and Alexei Molotov ascends to power, and he starts creating the Soviet Federation, completely redoes the economic system, completely redoes everything. You get to follow a few people throughout different sectors. You got military forces. You've also got some workers. Alexei decides he wants to do a massive superhighway from Moscow straight to the other side of Russia and have a seaport right directly across from Alaska. And you get to see their struggles and their horrendous working conditions, as well as, the war in Ukraine. To help visualize how my series is set up, I have here a little chart for you. So Operation Iranian Occupation starts my very first book in the series. This will be the first one you'll read if you want to read the series. And then from there you get to choose. So Birth of the Soviet Federation starts the Soviet Federation arc, or you could do NATO, China, Australia, Japan. My American Civil War, I'm not sure how many factions I'm going to have just yet. There's going to be a few. You can choose to start any of those. That'll be a good start. You can read any of these books in any order as long as you read Operation Iranian Occupation first. Allah's Children, Israel, South America, and Africa. Each chain of books, I'm planning on having 3 for each. So 3 Birth of the Soviet Federation, change, Soviet Federation books, 3 NATO, so on. And then at the very end of the series, I'm going to have 2 alternate endings. You'll get to choose. Do you want the ending where we kind of see what happens, or did you want the nuclear apocalypse, full on end of the world, irradiated zombies and fun sci-fi stuff, or we'll see what the New World Order looks like. But my goal right now is to have at least 1 book every other year, maybe every year, depending. But this kind of gives you a visualization of how my series is laid out. Now each book will have a little bit of Illuminati stuff. So if you read the whole series, every single book, you'll get a full picture of what the Illuminati's doing and everything. Or if you decide to only read one chain. You won't get a full picture of the Illuminati, but you'll get enough to kind of understand what they're doing. My series is going to kind of alternate, so as I release it, it'll go America, Russia, China, and then I'll have my miscellaneous. These are going to be some conflicts in South America, Africa, and the Middle East. I've got a terrorist organization called Allah's Children. They're going to have their own set of books. There's a whole fun little thing I got planned for that. But if you're interested in these books, go ahead and check out Operation Iranian Occupation and Birth of the Soviet Federation. I'm on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, as well as a bunch of other ones like Kobo and Apple Books and a bunch of others.
Okay, welcome back. So, what we're going to do at this point is we're going to make our hoses. So we're in object mode here, so we're going to select our thing here, go down here, and we're going to eyeball this a little bit. Let's see. We want our hose to be. Looks like we have a bit of a. Move this here up about there. Okay. Now then, let's go to our Z here. Hide the cabinet. And now we're just going to okay, that looks pretty good. Well, maybe just a little bit. Shrink that down a little bit. To about there. Well, we don't want it too thick. We'll say about there. Okay. Let's go resolution of about, I guess we can do 4. Okay, now let's take a look at our cabinet here. Make sure everything fits inside. Okay, that looks good. Okay. So that hose is done. So now we're going to go back into object mode. And, well, first let's see, what did we do here? 12. Bevel we did 0.25. Offset 3. Extrude 1. Okay. Here. Bevel. Wait, what was this one? This one was 25. So this one would be 25. 5. Perfect. Hide the cabinet. Go into our Z mode here. Edit. Like this. Ooh. Both of those. I guess I'm gonna go a little bit bigger. Okay. Now we want our okay. I'd say it looks pretty good, but we have a bit of a problem here, so I want to make sure there's no overlap. Okay. Now, go ahead and go over to here. And we'll do the same thing. Select this one here. And once again, let's see, what was our, over here was 03.25. 3, depth 0.25. Get that one. Now we gotta adjust down here. Edit mode. Grab this one here. Go into, well, first let's get this situated here. Z. Make sure we are for whatever reason, once again, we're not quite okay. Oh, one more. Okay. Now we can see a bit of a problem here. So we'll move this away here. And now tab. We'll select this one here. And once again, we'll go here to 3, 3, and down at Pebble, we're going to go to 0.25. Tab into edit mode, get this situated here. Get up on our Z here. Take a look. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Kind of. Yeah. There. Now let's see, is we got any ugliness here? This way. That's touching, so let's not let that touch. Okay. It's interesting, but it doesn't really matter too much. Tab. Go ahead and once again, 3. Oh, depth 0.25. That one is 0, extrude, 3, Let's see here. Tab into edit mode. Select a point here. This one is way off. Okay. Go up into Z. Take a look. Looks halfway decent. Here we have a bit of touching, possibly. So that. Here, like this, like so. And then that just leaves one more. This one here. So bevel, we're going to go to 0.25. Extrude, 2, 3. And this one is not too bad. A little bit of touching there, or clipping rather. Not bad. Now, over here, oh, that is kind of bad. Okay, I like that. So now then, we go back into Object. We're going to convert to mesh. Go here, convert to mesh. Here, convert to mesh. Convert to mesh. Convert to mesh. Convert to mesh. And then we're going to go ahead and do a solidify modifier. Generate, solidify. Go ahead and say that's probably about. Okay. Apply that. We're going to go over here. Do a generate, solidify. Say 3. Apply that. Generate, solidify. 3. Apply. This one is a bit strange. So I'm not entirely sure how this one's going to work out. Solidify. Yeah. That one we might have a bit of trouble with later on. Apply. Solidify. Einzwei dry. Apply. What we got left? Just 2. Generate. Solidify. 2, 3. Done. And then that just leaves this one. Solidify. 2, 3. And there. Our tubes are done, so let's bring back our cabinet here. So now we have the beer hose, air hose, all done. We have the kegs all made. I believe, I don't remember, I don't think we did a, yeah, so next up we'll have to do our oxygen tanks. And then up here, I'm thinking I might end up redoing the top part here, just because it looks a little, think I want to make it a little bit better. I'm not sure. But we're going to go ahead and call this an episode at this point. Yeah, it's kind of bleeding through there, so I think I'm going to redo this up here and make it look a little bit nicer. We still have to do our actual like handles up here, but if you've enjoyed this episode, please leave a like, subscribe, or follow if you're on Rumble, and we'll catch you in the next one.